welcome to another Iceberg interactive Twitch stream. Today we're going to be showcasing you Starship Corporation, and it has been quite a while since we played that game. It's currently out on Steam in early access, and a lot of it has changed since we last showed it to you, so we thought it was about time to get this one on your radar again. Perhaps you own it and already and you want to check in again to see what the updates are. Perhaps you're new to the game. Whichever you are, we are gonna try and help you out and show you some of the latest things we have been working on. So for those who recall correctly, we have had a fair bit of a couple of updates over the last year and early this year, and we're gonna try and showcase some of them and also basically, well, teach people how to play, since so much has changed from the original gameplay. So if there are any questions or comments about the game, about the stream, or whichever, drop it in the chat here and I'll try and answer them. And of course, in the meantime, if you want to learn more about the game, please be sure to head down to the product page, which there should be a link below the stream where you can click and go right there. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start a new sandbox game, and I am going to cheat a little bit, guys, and that's in order to showcase you some of the newer things in the game. So we're going to do that. Okay, my company will be Surtur Inc. There we go. First name Surtur, last name McSurt. There we go. And we aren't going to be male, or is it International Female Day? Why aren't we a female? Let's do that. And we're going to hit next step, introduction. So we're going to start off. We can choose how we want to begin our campaign. Basically, the left option is the easier one. The right one is the more difficult one, generally speaking. So we're going to go with a lot of extra starting funds so I can showcase some things. We don't need a high credit limit, so we can have a difficult game there, more or less. And we might want to auto do some of the tests, so auto resolve them. So I'm going to hit for that on easy. And as a goal, we're going to have the Trans-Orion Racer completed. So that's a special victory goal. So here we are jumping in the game. This is Q1 of the year 3020, and we are at the head of a Starship Corporation. There's the name for you. So we're showcased our quarterly report, contract fulfillment, mining operations, and a total income of 0. Well, we do have some expenses, so that's the first thing we need. So we have some ships in operation, we're paying some taxes, and that gets us a negative balance, so that will be something we will have to deal with. So here we can see the map. This is the galaxy. These are the things we can currently see, but there's lots of stuff unexplored, so we're gonna have a look out for that. Hey, the crafty dog, how's it going? And our base at the moment is on Mars, here in the Solar Alliance. Here we have a shipyard, and we can build some ships. We already operate 2 ships, actually. We have the Mary Celestia over here, which is an old mining ship, if I recall correctly. It has seen better days, though, it says. So let's see if we can spot a mining field somewhere close. And also we have the Andrea Gill, a salvage vessel. And we can move it up to any stranded ship to reactivate it. So that's going to be interesting as well. We might be able to use that later. Yeah, it's going pretty good, crafty dog. Happy to be showcasing Starship Corporation again after such a long hiatus. So let's have a look then. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do here is a little bit of a cheat. There we go. We're going to unlock all the tags in the game, and that will allow us to showcase some of the newer things, like the cybernetic life forms, which are quite interesting and completely shake up how you design your ships. And of course there are some other things as well. So let's have a look. So there are a couple of things here. When I click on Mars, we can see over here in this particular screen which contracts need to be fulfilled. So these are either other companies that require ships or that require work being done. So for example, for clear the route to Acton, which is over here, I need to send out a ship myself, whereas for example, the contract for pilot vessel, I just need to construct one. So the good news is I have a pilot vessel already researched, so I am able to just grab that one and start getting that out. So there we go, we have an improved pilot vessel and I can build it and to fulfill the contract. And that's going to be the basic thing you will be doing, and that's going to be how you make most of your money. Later, of course, we're going to start designing some of our own ships, because that's where the core of the game experience lies. So having done this, I'm going to hit end quarter and we're going to see our first contract being fulfilled. So we're processing quarter 2. We completed the contract in quarter 2 years ago, and we are gonna deliver it to our customer, the Algernon Technology Corporation. And here, if we look correctly, let's have a look. Oh, first we got our report, which is pretty good. So we made some money. And here we found a mining field, so we can actually set this ship to mine to give us a little bit of extra income. Let's scout a little bit further. So what's this game about? Building ships. Yes, this game is a, you could say a tycoon game. You are the leader of your own Starship Corporation. So what you're seeing right now is me building ships and fulfilling contracts, but what I'm going to do right now is design a ship. So let's see if we can design something ourselves. For example, a rope worker. So I can go right here, and I see that none of the ships I currently have is able to fulfill this contract of the rope worker. So what I can do is I can go to the department and I will select ship design. And from there, I should be able to, give me a second. There we go, to select a contract for which we want to design a ship. And then we select a hull for which we want to design that ship. And then we can start designing. So let's see if we can make a contract happen. Alright, so there we are. Currently, so I just did a little bit of a cheat to unlock all the technologies. Space Car Dealership Corp. That is pretty close to what it is, Crafty Dog, in many ways. Though it's also for a big chunk about the designing, and that's what I'm going to show you now. So we got 2 decks here, B1, B2, and we have several components we need to install on the ship. Now, in addition, because we're making the ship not just for fun, but to fulfill a specific contract, there are lots of things that this ship has to have. So a lot of requirements to meet. So that's what we're going to be looking at right now. So first, I want to install some engines. We don't need a very fast ship. It needs a speed of 1.4, for which the octagonal engine I don't think is enough. Let's have a C. It's a speed of 1, I think. Yeah, so this one wouldn't actually do it, you can see. So this one is nice, but it's not fast enough, so I would have to install a second engine on there, which I'm not going to do. So I'm going to choose a little bit more advanced engine that has a higher speed and perhaps also is a little bit smaller, requiring less maintenance as well. Is the NP27 engine. Now, in order to have this engine, to operate it, I need a couple of things. I need electricity, or energy. I need to cool the engines, there are no cooling systems hooked up, and the engine needs fuel. And in addition, the engine needs operators. So all of that we don't have at the moment. So let's start with the basic. Let's start and add some fuel to it. So we're going to take a fuel and we're going to add some fuel cells there. Let's see, or should one be enough? One would be enough. It only needs 100 and we're delivering 600, so that's nice. Next, we need electricity. So we got a couple of different technologies here. I could theoretically put a fusion reactor here, a small one. There we go. That will bring some energy, and we have plenty to spare for our other things that we might need. And now we need some cooling systems. So let's install some cooling systems. I'm going to install a large cooler unit right here. That should do the trick. There we go. Of course, we can see that there are some arrows here pointing, indicating an error. So we need to hook that up, because what's that? The cooling system needs an outer hatch to actually make that happen. So we need to install a cooling hatch. There we go. And there we have a little bit of cooling going on. Now still you see that these are outlined in red, meaning that there is some issue with them. And that issue at the moment is that they are not actually accessible. So we need to install some hatches to go from one room to the other. There we go. There we go. There we go. And we might want to run from the fuel to the engine. So let's install a bigger hatch to breach, there we go, to cross the gap between those. Now we have a little bit of a working thing, but we can see right here that this engine requires at least 3 technicians, and we don't have any at the moment. So let's start with that. So we're gonna grab some technicians, and I can fit some in here, I think. Or alternatively, I can have a little bit of a bigger group. So we will have 4 technicians right here. Let's put them here. There we go. And again, let's hook that up with a hatch. Alternatively, and this might actually be somewhat more interesting, instead of technicians, I could also opt to go for the cybernetic life forms. Disadvantage is they're a little bit more expensive. The advantage is they can do any job, so they're much more flexible. And in addition, they don't need life support. So your entire ship design might change accordingly. So for now, because it's a little bit more of an introduction, I'm going to go with the more traditional route and add engineers. But later on, we might want to swap them out for something else. Next, what I want to do is I need to, on the upper deck, I want to have the bridge and life support system. So I need to make a connection to the upper deck. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to go over to the connections infrastructure tab and then connections sub tab. And from there, we're going to set up a lift. There we go. And you see again the red outline indicating that they are separated from the lift. So immediately we're going to hook it up with a hatch. Also, we might want to have something in the case of an emergency. So an emergency exit. So I'm going to hook up an EV right over here. And the tech guys will be able to go there quickly from their quarter if they so desire. So let's get some hatches going. Or right from the engine. So they always have quick access to get out in case of emergency, and that's going to be important, which is something we'll actually see later. So we got a large corridor here connecting them. So either they're resting and they can go right to the EV, or much likely they will be in the engine room from which they can also quickly access the EV. So that's a good place to put it. Right, let's have a look. Now, what else? Since we have people now, we're also in need of air and water supply, so we need to take care of that. But first, I want to start setting up the upper deck, where we will need a bridge. And we're gonna drop it right here. That's right here. I'm saying right here, but I'm actually not 100% decided where I want it. I suppose I could drop it here. We drop the bridge there, and the bridge also needs a attached computer to actually calculate the courses, trajectories, etc. And they need to operate together. And both require pilots to operate them. So we are gonna need 2 pilots. And we're gonna give them single places to live. Also, for the pilots, we need to have an emergency escape option. So we're gonna add some EEV. And also here you see there's not enough power. Now, one of the things I can consider to do, I can build in the upper deck also a power source. However, there is also in the infrastructure options a power connector, and that can become very, very useful if I can find a place to put it. For example, I can put a power connector right here, hook it up, of course, with hatches. There we go, and that will allow power to flow also upstairs. Also, I need cooling here. Now, cooling I am going to do here locally because I don't want to also, you know, a cooling connector almost takes as much space as just another cooling unit. So I'm going to just grab another cooling unit later on. First, I'm going to hook these up with the hatches. There we go. Oh, forgot one. And now we are gonna be in need of some, hi Alexis, how's it going? Of some life support. So let's get some life support going. So in order to get life support, we need, well, a life support unit, which is, let's keep that here. And in addition, we are in need of, sorry Pepperoncini, I didn't ignore it. How's it going? Yeah, I'm well, Alexis. I'm happy to show off the game again after some time. So we drop life support here, and in addition, we need to get life support going. We need some fresh air. So I'm gonna get an air tank, and let's see if we can fit it in somewhere. This might be nice. There we go. So we got some air as well, and now also we need a water treatment because our people want clean water. So again, in the storage, we're gonna have a water tank, and we're gonna have a water treatment. Hey Alexis, thanks for notifying. Yeah, I got the engine on the lower deck. My face might be hiding that actually. Yeah, exactly. Hey Kato, well, I mean, it's still in early access, so, you know, if you want to wait for the full experience, you're free to do so, of course. Having said that, we have been through most of the early access phase already. I think it's been in early access almost 2 years now. So it's not fully experimental anymore. Yeah, no worries, Alexis. So let's have a look. If you have any further comments or advice or tips, whichever, I'm, you know, very welcome to hear them, to share them. All right, so let's drop in some extra units here and some hatches to get that going. And so we needed the water treatment. Yes, that's where we were. In addition, there was something else as well. I can't remember. Ah, yes, the water tank we had already. Got the connections. Alright, the life support. So we needed the water treatment. That was it. We can put that nicely here. And the water treatment requires a medic to run it. So we're going to need a medic as well. And the good news is we only need one medic here. So we're just going to drop it here, nice in the middle and nice and central. And we're going to drop some hatches in between them. In addition, we're going to get some extra movement going from here with a little bit of a corridor in between. And units actually move faster through corridors. So if there is, you know, something you need at high speed, you want to get a corridor there rather than make them run through other places that may be occupied. Alright, so we also needed the cooling here, so let's get that going. Can fit a small cooling system, perhaps two. I can fit one here, but that should be enough, at least for now. We need the cooling hatch, like we saw below deck, or at the lower deck, I should say. This is a small cooling unit, so a small cooling hatch will suffice. And of course, we need the connection hatch, where is it, as well. There we go. Now we are doing pretty well when it comes to our things, but we're missing a couple of other things. So the ship is a flyable ship now, and we can do, you know, it would be able to fly, etc. But it doesn't have a couple of things. It doesn't have an exit hatch yet. We can fix that quickly. And hey, The Last Unicorn, how's it going? I'm not a developer of the game. We're Iceberg Interactive, the publisher, and I am a producer on the project on behalf of the publisher. So we need to drop an exit hatch, and we need a shield generator, and we need a mining laser to clear the debris in between different systems, because that's going to be the job of this particular vehicle. Now, the first thing I will do then is the exit hatch, as that's the simple one. There we go. We're going to do it at the upper deck next to the bridge. And next we need to get our mining laser going, and that's going to be the main purpose of this ship. So you also have missiles, projectiles, there are plenty of things there, and there's quite a lot you can do. You're gonna need shields as well, so shield generators. Yeah, pretty much, Alexis. Though I'm not stuck on, you know, I'm not working on one project. I'm managing various projects at the same time, so that's why. In many cases, some of the dedicated fans we have, they actually get to know the game better, unfortunately, than I do. Well, it is pretty vulnerable there, Alexis, but, well, I mean, this is not going to be, you know, it's going to be a relatively simple ship. I might even install some additional shield generators for it, so I don't think that will be too much of a problem. And we might need an additional cooling hatch anyway when we install a mining laser. So yes, we were going to look at shields and mining lasers. Also, so we saw the weapons here. Did we? Yeah, I went through them. We've got missiles. Let's see. Where were they again? Don't need docking clamps. There we go. The mining laser is something we need. Yeah, this is a cargo ship, exactly. So this particular one is the Yanmori 2, which is one of the earlier cargo ships you unlock. The reason I chose this one is basically I don't want you to watch too long while I'm designing a huge ship. So we're going to install a mining laser. I can't install it front, so we're going to install it at the side, which is okay. It just makes it a little bit slower to actually mine, but if it makes it more functional, then, you know, it's fine. So the mining laser needs more cooling, as you can see, and it needs more power. So there's not actually enough power here, because we need 1041 and we're supplying 900. So in the lower deck, we're going to add an additional reactor. This is a little bit overkill, I think. I think we can do it with a medium nuclear reactor as a secondary reactor. We're going to hook it up again with the hatches. Do you take wishes for features during stream? Well, we always take wishes for features, but that doesn't mean we can always fulfill them. But if you have ideas for the game, or we'd love to hear them. Though I must say, if you want the developer to read them directly, it might be better to drop them in the Steam forums. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear your ideas. Let's see. We need a weapon. Was it a weapon one, a mining one, a bay door? There are so many different options. No, it was not one of these. There we go, weapon bay door. So now we just need the cooling. So we're gonna install an additional cooling unit. We can do it nice over here, I think. And we're gonna add the hatch again. So one of the changes we made recently, before we had a rather obtuse system where people had to put their own electricity grids, water grids, so their pipes, etc., connections between the rooms. And that was one of the things we actually removed and changed for for a power channel system, which is much more interesting and which we might come to later on. I'm trying to keep it simple for now though, but that quite improved the game a bit. Other improvements we've seen throughout early access are the changes, especially the new world update was a big one. But we've seen the addition of mining, like we're building right now, of lasers, of combat. We've seen a complete overhaul of the campaign system and the economy system. And this was for the most part also based on user feedback. In addition, we've been improving optimization. To be honest, that's something that's never really done. Yes, exactly, Zachblood. That's what many people say. I mean, it takes away some of the unnecessary micromanagement. Let's get an extra hatch. We're gonna make it a little bit of a maze here. There we go. Quick access. In addition, you know, they were not necessarily interesting choices, whereas now you can do some interesting things with it. Next, we need to install some shields. We can do a heart shield, and we're going to put in the port. I suppose this would be a good location for the shield in our case, since we're going to be mining over here. We need this side particularly protected. So let's put one there, and also one at the lower deck. There we go. And of course we need to have a corridor running and hatches. Well, I wouldn't say it's that much simplified, to be honest. I mean, yes, it takes a little bit less time, but the system wasn't as smart as we thought it would turn out to be. Basically, the result was not that there were many interesting choices to make for the player, at least not in the way we wanted. And in addition, we managed to get a significant boost to optimization and a more clever system that's easier to manage, but at the same time allows for some interesting plays. And Last Unicorn says, okay, one thing I would feel would be very great, though not a goal very soon, would be the possibility to design fuselages by ourselves. Well, yes, I mean, that's something we hear a lot. That is really, really cool to do, though. I mean, that would... yes, it's hard to make that system happen. It's something we could look into for the future. I mean, you're not the only one who's saying it, and it allows you to really design your own ships, much more than you can do now. So it might be something worth considering. Right, so we got it powered now. And let's have a look. So I could add an additional technician just to help with managing the ship. And I think I have the water and fuel supplies for 2 extra technicians. Just to, you know, to help do the rounds, to maintain everything. So I'm going to set up some hatches, and then we're going to run through some simulations. There we go. So our ship appears to be complete for now. Sorry about that, blocking your link. Yes, this is our Nightbot, Alexis. Right, I'm gonna hit prepare for a simulation. Oh really, you didn't? That's unusual. Not sure what happened then. Alright, so we're gonna call this our experimental road worker alpha. Oh, there we go. Just route. Yeah. No. Route What's happening now? Route worker 1. Alright, so we can now test it in the crew management, and this is not a part of the game. Will there be a lot more ship models than this particular one? Because there already are quite a couple. I don't think more are planned in the immediate future. Let's have a look. Yeah, so first I'm gonna auto-resolve everything, but I'm gonna play a couple of them. But I'm gonna auto-resolve them first, and then we're gonna play a couple to see if we can improve upon the auto-resolve test. This also means I can skip some of the more slower, more laborious ones that aren't as interesting, like running your ship in standard operation for 10 minutes. I think we can show you some interesting things, like a major collision, and let's see what happens there. So we're preparing here. So this is the simulation mode, and this is the part you might have seen in some of the trailers. And the idea is there is a significant collision on course. So you can see this piece of debris is heading for our ship, and we need to deal with that the best we can. Now first, I'm gonna pause the game. There we go. Now we're gonna see what we can do. So I'm going to start sealing these doors in the hope to reduce damage. You are just going to send to the engine for now. And over here, so here, this is kind of like an RTS type of game in the way you control it, I suppose. I'll send our pilots to where they should be. I'm going to send our medic to where she should be. The vision I would have for a complete game in terms of Starship Corporation would be the ability to total design ships by yourselves, which includes fuselage as well as interior. Yeah, that would be the, I suppose, the dream, but that's not something easily achieved. So also here, I think we're gonna see if we can seal this one, just to make sure the rest is safe. Alright, so let's increase the speed a little bit. So we're in yellow alert, we got the debris incoming, we are starting to seal off things. I think I can also put power to some of these. Also below deck. See, the shield is holding back a lot of it, but not everything. And some will eventually hit, I suppose, and do some damage. If not, then we will be fairly good. We have fairly advanced shields, and that's because, guys, I use some advanced shields, so they're actually holding it back a fair bit. Had I used weaker shields, they might have broken through and crushed through. But it seems we have been doing pretty well so far. There we go. So we got 4 points, and that is not bad at all. So we're gonna apply them. I think we already had 4 points before, but you know, it's yeah, I could have stopped it, but to be honest, I mean, you know, the mission was being finished. Let's see which else is interesting. We don't have a military ship, so there's not a lot to do there. I suppose we could do a little bit of an asteroid field, just to see how it's going. Why only 4? Well, you want to use generally the less crew you employ, the higher your score gets. So because you're basically using less resources, right? So I added some extra technicians in this crew, which is good for a lot of things, but perhaps not for everything. So I'm gonna send some guys to the engine. I think the engine requires 3 technicians. And I'm gonna send some guys to do their.
Let's get out of here. Go. Eyes and ears. Eyes and ears. Eyes and ears.
Do some rounds later. Or yeah, let's go. Do some of the rounds while the rest do the other things. And over here we're gonna run our pilots. Here, our medic. And we need one technician doing the rounds. Speeding it up a little bit too much perhaps, but you'll see later what will happen. I could also turn off some modules that are not particularly required, which is okay as well. Here we go. We're gonna hit the pause button. We're gonna hit into an asteroid field, and some are gonna hit above deck, some are gonna hit below. Maybe you can add independent design and test. That's independent from the main play. Yeah, we could, though I suppose it's already for a large chunk independent if you wish it to be. I mean, there's some cheats to unlock everything and just let you, you know, design to your heart's content. So we're gonna try and defend against the asteroids, and we seem to do doing pretty well so far. But later on you'll find additional missions where you're gonna hook up some weapons and you're gonna fight off pirates or other other things. You're gonna be mining more than we're doing now. This is just a road work and not necessarily a mine, so there's nothing to refine the ore that's coming in or to collect it. There are going to be transport ships, prison ships, mining ships, scout ships, research ships, and lots of others.
Let's get out of here. Eyes in here.
Getting some more damage here and there, some impacts on the hull. But still only the outer hull so far, so we seem to be in a pretty good position.
Aye, sir.
Gonna speed up a little bit further.
Changing position.
We got our technicians doing our rounds. We could also manually send them about. This is we have 3. We have 1 spare here. We can have him do things whenever the need arises.
Let's go, Humble. Working on it. Let's get out of here. Working on it. Aye, aye, sir. Not a problem, sir. Aye, sir.
Yeah, so we're starting getting some score here and there. So we got a 180 penalty for the crew here. So the bigger the size of the crew, the bigger your score penalty is, because the better you are considered to do it. And there's of course the morale. I don't have any morale boosting equipment here on board, which can be various things like entertainment, or I think even the captain can do it. We have none of that. We're a simple ship.
Not a problem.
And this particular ship has 2 decks. I mean, there are ships with 1 deck, there are ships with 5 decks, in various configurations and loadouts. So they offer a completely different way to design. I quite like this one because it's a little bit bigger than the standard little black fuselage, but at the same time, it has the extra deck and the extra space and the extra flexibility.
Aye, sir.
So more hits are coming in, but our shields are holding, or at least are recovering as quickly enough to deal with the damage.
Let's go, Humble.
In addition, we have a lot of, how you say, empty space in our ships by design. And so that is a little bit of a buffer, if you will, and helps it protect just a little bit better.
Not a problem, sir.
There we go. And we can see the engineers are doing the rounds, so every module on this ship every now and then needs to be maintenance, or at least most of them do. And that is something that's important, so you need to have a technician there to deal with that. And if a technician gets there often enough, then you know, nothing will break down.
Aye, aye, sir. Oscar Mike. Aye, aye, sir. Oscar Mike.
Let's see, we got 3 stars already, so a nice rating. I think it was 5 minutes for the game to run. Or was it longer? I can't remember. Mission progress.
Aye, aye, sir. Aye, aye, sir. Aye, sir.
Regardless, we seem to have a reasonably capable ship here
Let's get out of here.
that can deal with most of the damage. But this one will certainly fulfill our requirement. Are you thinking about expanding the business model in Game Beyond contracts? I think it would be great if the user would have to monitor demands of the population, design selection of different ships. We have something coming for you, Lost Unicorn. There's nothing I can talk about yet. But keep your eyes peeled. There is going to be a little bit more to that, or another aspect added to that. But so far, I mean, there's already the there's the building ships for the contracts, there's the delivering ships for the contracts, but there's also now sending out your own ships to do contracts, to transport goods or to clear routes, to mine areas. So there's already a little bit more than just designing them and selling them.
Go, 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 Abu! Let's get out of here.
Exactly, Exactblood is saying. So we have a high score now, and we are surviving pretty darn well. And there's not a lot for us to do other than actually monitoring at this point, though you can micromanage everything. So if I select a unit, for example, right-click brings up the context menu, and that will allow me to do anything. So perhaps I need to put out fires, or I need to put on my suit because the ventilation is being vented or life support's down. I can tell them to defend themselves in case that's needed, in case of an enemy insurrection. You know, do basic maintenance or heal, which is what medics mostly do. You can see the different bars here indicating their different stats, including health, morale, and they are running around pretty well, and we seem to be reasonably capable of flying into an asteroid field. However, we're not at all as well defended from other sides, so should asteroids be approaching us from the rear, or should we be attacked from the rear, for example, we have no shields. So if any pirate would attack us, this is not the ship to fight them with. Yes, you have a little bit of a mining laser to do some damage, but as soon as he gets behind you, and he will, because there are no maneuvering thrusters additional installed in the ship to speed it up, you are basically done for. Right, okay, I understand now. Yeah, so more like, yeah, this is more like business-to-business delivery of vehicles, whereas what you're telling is more like design your commercial, well, this is also commercial, but for the consumer, the end user. Which is an interesting take. It's not something that is currently planned, I must admit. But then again, you know, if the game does well enough and remains popular, we can keep on supporting it and adding to it. And with a game like this, you will concur that there is so much you can change, add, update, expand towards. There really is a lot to see and to do there.
Let's go, Abu!
Right, so we're going to hold on a little bit longer just to finish it and to get our score, and then we're going to move on again to the campaign map, just trying to showcase you the full circle of where we are now with the game, the different elements there. It would be an interesting feature to add, definitely. Something that we also got a lot requested is, you know, to increase the... and something that we've been trying to add is to make the universe a more living entity, so you have more happen there. And we've also been working on that, and there's also something coming for that as well. But we already added a lot on to that, so you will see slowly the universe develop around you, which is pretty cool. Alright.
Aye, sir.
So 9, so I think a couple more seconds. And we should get the full stars, because we did not incur much damage. There we go. So last achievement was 7 points, so we did better than the auto-generated one. So I'm going to hit apply there and save that, and then we're going to go back. So this is what you can do. You can do all of these. I'm pointing at it with my hand, which is, sorry, not very useful. So all of these you can do yourself, or you can auto-resolve them, or you can do yourself some, auto-resolve others. That's up to you. I like to auto-resolve all of them first and then go see, okay, where can I improve? Some people don't care about this at all, which is also fine. Just do the designing. Sorry about the alarm, guys. And some I like to do the other thing. So I'm gonna save the ship class here. There we go. We're gonna go back to the galaxy map, and now we're gonna have a ship to sell to that customer that wants to have this particular type of ship. Here we go, Road Worker 1, build ship. And actually I'm thinking of also building one for ourselves later, to do some of the other missions, to do some road work ourselves. If you do manually and not auto, it's worth, it has shown, you get a better score and then alter the ship to suit down fails of any. Yeah, exactly, it pays off to do it manually. But it's not everybody's cup of tea, which is okay. So I'm going to hit enter again. We're building the ship now for the client, and after I'm going to queue up one for myself. So in the meantime, we're mining here now, so that should give us at least some extra revenue, and we could also update our design to add the mining processor, and that will allow us to do some additional mining ourselves. So here we see the ship has not been completed, so we haven't completed the contract. Why aren't you mining? I thought you would be. Or did I move you first? Probably shouldn't have done that. And let's do some more scouting. Alright, it's almost done, I think. There we go, worker 1. So one thing I have been cheating with, and I haven't shown you so far, is the tech, because I unlocked all techs by cheat. But we can see all the modules we have here. We only start with a couple of them, or the ones we saw in ship design, and most of them have to be researched, and that's done by just well, by adding a quarterly budget per category, and that will slowly unlock them one by one. And here we can see all the different fuselages we have. So always people request more or request to design themselves, which, you know, is okay. But we already have a fair number of them in with various shapes and forms and different ways to design and different philosophies to design. And of course also different functions. So some are specifically for mining, like the GET, where you can easily put mining lasers in the front. Or some of the bigger ones. Some are for racing, which is very interesting. Which is also incidentally our goal here. And some are more for military side of things, so they're aimed to good places to have your weapons there. Okay, Alexis, that's noted then. And so we got a lot to research here, a lot to see, a lot to unlock. Right, so heading back to the galaxy map, I'm going to hit again the enter button. And our ship was completed at worker, customer waiting shipping. We're going to send it out and deliver it, and that will generate us some money. Here we go. And I'm going to build another one so I can do perhaps this mission. So I'm going to build my own ship. I'm going to build the Road Worker 1. There we go. It will cost us some money, but it will be our very own ship, and we can do with it what we want. There's a lot of new games and DLC released this month. Well, every month these days. I mean, Steam is getting crazy with the amount of releases, which on the one hand is really, really cool. On the other hand, yeah, I mean, few people will have time for that. What's wrong? Ah, I put you on the wrong mission. That's what's wrong. Sorry for that. Let's see. Our ship's not finished yet. We're gonna do more exploring. Then hit the end turn button. Hi, how's it going? Good to see you sat here. Alright, so that's our third ship. This is Route Worker 1-1. It's our first Route Worker 1. And we're gonna... Ooh, we found another little pocket there of interesting data. We started mining out, so that generates us some income. And now I should be able to set Route Worker 1 to clear the route to Aktun. So they're gonna go and start clearing the route, clearing up these fields of debris or this debris and these asteroids. Yeah, I'm also waiting for the Hearts of Iron expansion. Don't worry about that. Let's see. So that's going well. We could see if we can fulfill another vessel. Yeah, we got another improved pilot vessel we can perform. And we have a salvage vessel available. No, it's the Andrea Gill is not good enough for that, unfortunately. What's she missing? No, we're just gonna build the pilot vessel to get our income going. I mean, realistically, I would be, you know, designing more ships now and getting beyond that, but I think we only have about 5 minutes remaining, so I'd like to speed it up a little bit and just get some missions going. So we got a pilot vessel, so we're going to deliver that. Continue to mine here. We also see that the Surtur is actually reducing, so the amount of resources is reducing. We have another mission set up over here, discovering more debris, and we're going to continue to scout with it. We can deal with local pirate activity. I'm actually going to build a probe for myself, just to do a little bit of extra scouting. There we go. I'm going to hit the end quarter button. Would there be something more to building ships? Only laying down the money. For example, it'd be cool to really build factories, getting resources. No, so at the moment that's not planned. I mean, there is money involved because you're paying taxes and you're paying your dues. Probe 1. So there's already something to do there, and there are these events as well. Let's see, what do we have here? Gerald Warshevak wants a campaign contribution. We're kindly asking you to support your candidate for the upcoming election. If he wins, I'm sure he will not forget how important your role in the company plays in the Solar Alliance economy. Well, it could be good for us for sure to have some friends in high places giving us some profitable government contracts. So I'm going to contribute 10,000. There we go. You'd be surprised, it represents a lot more countries than that. So we are losing some money, mainly because we spent 10,000 to help some of our friends. And let's see, so we're trying to see more. Our root worker has finished one, so it's going on to the next one. Our probe is finished, so we're going to send it out. There we go, processing Q1. More information. Dear Mrs. Surtur McSurt, we're kindly asking you to support our candidate for the upcoming election. Another election? No, we funded the other guy. We're not going to fund both of you. My money is on the other guy, so I'm not interested in donating for you. And we need to find more mining deposits for our ships. we go, we're going on to the third one. That should complete the mission. Because this mining deposit is getting... oh, we need to go around that. Oh, you funded both. Yeah. Well, at least now I can pretend that the other party serves my personal political ideology. So, you know, there is like an excuse. The party did not get any support for you, the ones that win. So we betted on the wrong horse. Ouch. That cost us some money. And the road worker has finished its mission, so that's great. There we go, a lot of extra money pouring in now. And now we can do it to clear up some more fields, or perhaps do another food. We would need a transport ship for that. Deal with local pirates. No, we're just gonna fly back. And I think we're gonna do one more turn, and that's where we're gonna call it a day. So if you like what you saw, we will be doing more streams in the future, especially as we get closer to full release. The game's out in early access now. You can go click the link below the stream and go right to the product page. And of course, if you like us, follow us. That would be very, very much appreciated. We reached the Actun Worlds now. We can set up office there now that the road is clear. So we can launch our second office and also do missions from here. So we're expanding, and that's what the game is all about: expanding your company, becoming bigger, wealthier, and designing the most superior ship. So I hope you like this little bit of an introduction, this little update also of what's been changed since we originally launched back almost 2 years ago in early access. We're still continuing in early access, but we are getting closer to release, and your feedback is invaluable. So thank you so much guys for watching. We hope you liked it. Please follow our channel, and hopefully we'll see you again. Have a nice day or a nice evening. Bye bye.